Yesterday we discussed about the digestive system and then digestive parts, about all these things we discussed here. Now we are going to discuss about the process of digestion. In the process of digestion, first we have to discuss about the digestive glands here, because as we discussed about definition of the digestion mainly consisting of what here? The conversion of the complex molecules into simpler molecules with the help of the enzymes we are saying. Actually, where the enzymes are present in the digestive system completely, which will secrete the enzymes here. Mainly remember this thing always, in digestive system completely here, digestive glands are present. That digestive glands are responsible for the secretion of the enzymes here. As in the earlier class we discussed about the liver and then pancreas, they both are the glands here. Apart from the liver and pancreas, here we had three glands here. The three glands mainly consisting of what here? Salivary glands we had, then gastric glands we had, and then intestinal glands we had. The name itself indicate salivary glands are the glands which are present in the mouth region. Again, the salivary glands which are there, again we are dividing them into three types here, right? Based on their position, based on their location, we are dividing the salivary glands into three types here. They mainly consisting of parotid glands we had, submaxillary glands we had, then sublingual glands we had. Parotid glands are the glands which they are present, which they are always present here below the ear pinna part. This part, the parotid glands are present below the ear pinna part here. And then submaxillary, the name also always indicate here maxillary, that means mandibular part here. That means they are present near the angles of the lower jaw, right? Submaxillary glands are present near the angles of the lower jaw we are saying. The name itself indicates sublingual we are saying. Lingua, the term always indicate tongue here. That means below the tongue, sublingual glands are present. These three glands. Again, salivary glands we are dividing into three glands. Parotid glands we had, submaxillary glands we had, sublingual glands we had, all these things we had. And what are the functions of the salivary glands here? Mainly, as we know, salivary glands always secrete the saliva we are saying. The saliva always helps in the process of digestion, and here the pH of saliva mainly it is 6.8, right? The pH of saliva is actually 6.8 here. Here the saliva which is there, saliva also consisting of enzymes known as salivary amylase or ptyalin, and also saliva also consisting of a lysozyme. Lysozyme is an antibacterial. This is about the salivary glands here. Now after salivary glands, what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about the gastric glands here. Name itself indicate the gastric glands where they are present. Gastric glands always they are present near in the stomach region. That means in the gastric region they are present here. Again, as we know, stomach mainly consisting of three parts. Our stomach we are dividing into three parts here. Cardiac part we are dividing, fundic part we are dividing, pyloric part we are dividing. The same here, what is happening here? The gastric glands which are there, again the gastric glands are of three types. Again we are saying they are cardiac glands we had, then pyloric glands we had, and then fundic glands we had. Here the cardiac gland which is there, the cardiac gland always secretes a mucus. Always secretes what? Always secretes a mucus. Mucus always helps in the lubrication of the food. That means easy flowing of the food here. Again the pyloric gland which is there, pyloric gland will also secrete the mucus, and pyloric gland also secretes a gastrin. Gastrin is a hormone. Gastrin is a hormone which always helps in the process of digestion. Apart from this cardiac and pyloric glands here, lastly we have the fundic gland here. Fundic gland is very, very important because actually mainly the secretions responsible for the digestion, it is secreted by the fundic gland here. Regarding the fundic gland, again fundic gland consisting of two types of cells here. Two types of cells mainly consisting of neck cells we are saying, then oxyntic cells we are saying. Neck cells which are there, neck cells always secretes the enzymes. That means proenzymes we are saying, the proenzymes. The proenzymes mainly they are consisting of prorenin and pepsinogen, which always participates in the process of digestion, right? Neck cells which are there, neck cells always secretes the proenzymes. That proenzymes we are calling as what? Prorenin and pepsinogen. Now oxyntic cells are there. Oxyntic cells which are there in the fundic gland, oxyntic cells always secretes the HCl, right? Hydrochloric acid in the gastric cavity. Then Cazel's intrinsic factor. Cazel's intrinsic factor is always required and responsible for the secretion of the vitamin B12. And regarding we are discussing about the HCl, remember very, very important point here. HCl, hydrochloric acid in the gastric gland or gastric cavity is always secreted by the oxyntic cells here. HCl which is formed in the stomach always helps in the activation of enzymes, right? This is about the gastric glands we had. Next, lastly, we had about the intestinal glands. Name itself indicate intestinal glands are always present in the small intestinal region or intestinal region we are saying. Again, intestinal glands again consisting of two types of glands here. They consisting of a Brunner's glands we had, then crypts of Lieberkühn we had. Brunner's glands and crypts of Lieberkühn. These both glands which are there, they will secrete the intestinal juice. They will secrete the intestinal juice. Remember this point here. Intestinal juice, we are also calling it as the succus entericus. Intestinal juice, we are also calling it as a succus entericus. Here, what is happening here? The pH of the intestinal juice or succus entericus will be 7.5 to 8.0. And here, as we know, different enzymes, all these things we got in the earlier salivary glands and then gastric glands here. Then what about the intestinal glands here? Intestinal glands will secrete the intestinal juice we are saying. Intestinal juice always consisting of a peptidases enzymes. Peptidases enzymes we are lactase, sucrase, maltase. All these enzymes are present in the intestinal juice here. Intestinal juice here. As digestive glands are over, now we are discussing about the process of digestion. Here in the process of digestion, where the process of digestion will take place. Regarding the process of digestion, the process of digestion takes place in the buccal cavity, in the stomach, in the small intestine. If you are seeing about the buccal cavity, now what is the importance of buccal cavity in the process of digestion? That means here what is happening here? Buccal cavity which is there, buccal cavity we are also calling as a oral cavity. In the buccal cavity or oral cavity, what happens here actually the food which we are taking, that food is mixed with the saliva. As earlier we discussed about salivary glands here, that food is mixed with the saliva. Saliva consisting of a salivary amylase or ptyalin. Saliva consisting of salivary amylase or ptyalin. That salivary amylase or ptyalin will convert the starch present in the food. Starch present in the food into maltose. Right? In the presence of the salivary amylase enzyme. And pH required is 6.8. That means in the buccal cavity, what is happening here? In the buccal cavity, in the process of digestion, we are converting the starch into maltose with the help of the salivary amylase or ptyalin enzyme, right? In the pH 6.8. And remember this point here, in the buccal cavity, the partially digested food in the buccal cavity we are calling as a bolus, right? The partially digested food in the buccal cavity we are calling as what? We are calling it as a bolus here. Then the partially digested food which is a bolus, that bolus which is there in the buccal cavity, through the pharynx, through the esophagus, it enters into the stomach, right? In the stomach, what is happening now? Now process of digestion in the stomach. In the stomach, what will happen? The food will be stored in the stomach up to the 4 to 5 hours here. The bolus which is entered into the stomach now, in the stomach, what is happening here? That food is mixed with the acid, right? As the food is mixed with the acid, that food we are calling as what? Chyme, right? The acidified, partially digested food we are calling as what? Chyme here, right? And in the stomach, what is happening now? Earlier we discussed about earlier in the gastric glands, we discussed about the proenzymes, right? Prorenin, pepsinogen. They are the proenzymes we are saying. That proenzymes are inactive. Firstly, we have to convert the prorenin, then pepsinogen into their active forms, right? As we discussed that point here, HCl which is there, HCl will always convert the inactive enzymes into active enzymes. That means what is happening? Here prorenin is an inactive enzyme. In the presence of the HCl, it is converted into its active form, that is renin, right? The same thing what happens here. Here pepsinogen is an inactive form. It is converting into its active form known as pepsin, that is HCl. That means two enzymes are required. Two enzymes are required for the process of digestion in the stomach. The two enzymes mainly what they are? Renin, then pepsin we have. Apart from this thing, now what is happening? Casein. Casein is the milk protein we are saying. The casein which is there, the casein is always milk protein we are saying. That casein is a milk protein. Casein is actually what is happening? The enzyme renin acts on the casein in the presence of the calcium ions. It is converting the casein into what? Casein into calcium paracasinate. It is converting the casein into what? Calcium paracasinate. Now the calcium paracasinate which we got here, that calcium paracasinate is converted into peptones. Calcium paracasinate is converted into peptones with the help of the enzyme pepsin. Now what is happening? Apart from this thing, proteins also we have now. That proteins are converted into proteases and peptones. That proteins are converted into proteases and with the help of enzyme what? Pepsin. Now, what is happening here in the digestion stomach? What are the last products we got here? The last products we got are actually proteases and peptones here. As digestion stomach is completed, now we are moving for the digestion in the small intestine. In the digestion in the small intestine, as we know, small intestine is a major part of the digestive system where the process of digestion occurs majorly. That means, as we know here, in the small intestine only, what is happening here? Digestion of the proteins takes place, digestion of the carbohydrates takes place, digestion of the lipids takes place, and digestion of the nucleic acids takes place here. Here, what is happening actually? If you take here, firstly, for the process of digestion in the small intestine, we require the enzymes now. What enzymes we had? As in the stomach, we got two enzymes, that is renin and then pepsin we got here. In the small intestine, we are getting two enzymes. That means firstly we are taking the inactive enzymes. That means the inactive trypsin is converted into active trypsin enzyme. Inactive trypsinogen is converted into active trypsin enzyme in the presence of the enterokinase. In the presence of enterokinase here. Then the same thing, what is happening here? The same thing, the trypsinogen which is here, it is converted into trypsin with the help of the enzyme trypsin. This reaction, particularly this reaction, we are calling as a autocatalysis. Autocatalysis, it means self-catalysis. That means what is happening here? If you see here, product enzyme both are same. As product enzyme both are same, we are calling it as what? We are calling it as a autocatalysis reaction. We are calling here. Apart from this thing, what we had again? Chymotrypsinogen inactive form here. Chymotrypsinogen is the inactive form of the enzyme we are saying. This chymotrypsinogen which is there, it is converted into chymotrypsin, that is active form, right? In the presence of the enzyme trypsin, right? Here what is happening here? The inactive forms are the trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen. They are converting into their active forms known as what? Trypsin, chymotrypsin. And very important point, it is autocatalysis. Autocatalysis is a phenomenon in which what is happening here? Product enzyme both are same. That's why we are saying as a autocatalysis phenomena. Now we got the enzymes now. Trypsin, chymotrypsin we got now. Next what we are going to do now? Next we are discussing about digestion in proteins. Digestion of the proteins here. How the digestion of proteins takes place. See here, where we got the proteins actually in the process of digestion in the stomach, we got the proteases, peptones, proteins, all these things here. That partially digested food which is there, it is entering into the intestine with the help of the duodenum. That partially digested food which is consisting of a proteins, peptones and proteases, they are there. They are acted upon by the trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase, aminopeptidase, right? These enzymes, and they are converted into tripeptides and dipeptides first, right? Here remember this point here, trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase, aminopeptidase are the enzymes which they are converting the proteins, peptones, proteases into tripeptides and dipeptides here. Now the tripeptides and dipeptides which we got here, tri it means 3 peptides, di it means 2 peptides, peptides it means chain of amino acids we are saying. The tripeptides which we got here, again the tripeptides which are there, they are converted into dipeptides with the help of the enzyme tripeptidase, right? Then dipeptides plus amino acids. See, we have to balance here. How we are balancing? Tripeptidase, 3 peptides. Here we are converting the tripeptides into what? Into dipeptides plus amino acids. Di it means 2 peptides plus amino acids. That means 3 and 3 both are balancing here with the help of the enzyme tripeptidase here. Next, what we had again? Dipeptides we had now. Now dipeptides which we got here, that again we are taking here. That dipeptides which are there, we are converting them into lastly amino acids with the help of the enzyme dipeptidase here. And remember a point here, amino acids which we are getting in this process of digestion of the proteins here, they are the simpler forms. As we know, process of digestion, definition of digestion here, complex molecules we are converting into simpler molecules. That is the definition of digestion. Now in the digestion of proteins, we have been converted the complex molecules, proteins, peptones, proteases into their simpler forms known as amino acids. As digestion of proteins is over, now we are discussing about digestion of fats here. Always what is happening? Oils are the source of the fats we are saying, and fats are the energy forms we are saying. Fats we are also calling as lipids here. Here in the digestion of fats, what is happening here? The fats which are there, they are converted into emulsified fats in the presence of the bile juice or bile salts we are saying. Bile juice, which is always secreted by the liver, we are saying it is converting the large globular fats into micellally formed small fats. That fats we are calling as what? Emulsified fats we are calling. That emulsified fats which which are there here, that emulsified fats we are again converting into diglycerides in the presence of the enzyme lipase. The diglycerides which we got here, that diglycerides again we are converting into monoglycerides with the presence of enzyme lipase. The monoglycerides which we add again, that monoglycerides lastly we are converting into fatty acids plus glycerol in the presence of enzyme lipase. See here, the enzyme is same for all these things here. Lipase, emulsified fats, lipase is there. Diglycerides, lipase is there. Then monoglycerides, lipase is there, right? Lipase is the common enzyme we are saying. And what is happening here? In the digestion of fats, the complex molecules are the fats we are saying. The simpler molecules, last formed ones are the fatty acids and glycerols we are saying here. This is about the digestion of the fats we are saying. Apart from digestion of fats, we have the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are always we are calling them as the sugars here. Now, regarding the carbohydrates which we had now, the carbohydrates which are there, firstly we are converting the carbohydrates into their simpler forms. Firstly, their simpler forms, they mainly consisting of what? Maltose, sucrose, lactose we are saying. Now the maltose which we got here, maltose we are also calling it as a glucose sugar. The maltose which is there, maltose we are converting into their simpler forms, that is maltose is a disaccharide, that means two sugars. Maltose, sucrose, lactose, all these are the disaccharides, because if we see here, there are two sugars we are getting here. Hence we are calling as disaccharides we are saying. Then maltose which is there, in the presence of the enzyme maltase, we are converting it into glucose plus glucose we are saying. The same thing what we had, next thing we had the sucrose. Sucrose always we are saying as an invert sugar, because the glucose fructose which is found here, glucose can give rise to fructose, fructose can give rise to glucose, hence we are calling as an invert sugar. And sucrose which we got here, sucrose in the presence of enzyme sucrase, we are converting into what? Glucose plus fructose here. The table sugar which we are eating is the sucrose only we are taking here, right? Then lastly what we had, lactose we have, name itself indicate lacto. The term always indicate milk. Wherever we are getting the term as lacto, the term always indicate milk here. Lactose, it means what? Lactose commonly we are calling it as a milk sugar. Lactose in the presence of enzyme lactase, we are converting into glucose plus galactase. See what is the process of digestion? You know, complex molecules into simpler molecules we are saying. All these are the complex molecules, we are converting them into simpler molecules here. Clear about this thing? This is about the digestion of the carbohydrates we had, digestion of the fats we had. Lastly, we left about the digestion of the nucleic acids we left here. What are the nucleic acids here? See, nucleic acids are the genetic materials we can say. They are the genetic materials we can say, which they are present in the nucleus, right? The nucleic acids mainly consisting of what? Digestion of nucleic acids we are saying. Digestion of nucleic acids. Digestion of nucleic acids. The nucleic acids which we had, nucleic acids mainly we are taking them as DNA and RNA. That means genetic material, DNA and RNA. The nucleic acids which we had here, that nucleic acids in the presence of nucleases enzymes, in the presence of nucleases or DNases, RNases. Firstly, we are converting them into nucleotides. The nucleotides which we are getting here, that nucleotides again in the presence of the enzyme nucleotidase. We are getting them as nucleoside plus phosphate. Now the nucleoside which we got here, that nucleoside again we are taking here. This nucleoside again we are converting into what? Nitrogen base plus sugar. In the presence of enzyme nucleosidase. Here See about digestion of nucleic acids, what we are getting here? In digestion of nucleic acids we know nucleic acids mainly they are the DNA, RNA, that means genetic materials we are saying. DNA it means deoxyribose nucleic acid we are saying. RNA it means ribose nucleic acid we are saying. In the presence of the enzyme nucleases or DNases, RNases, what we are getting? Firstly we are getting about the nucleotides. Nucleotides which we got here, again we are converting them into simpler forms, that is nucleoside and phosphate we are saying. That means nucleotides are made up of nucleoside plus phosphate we are saying. In the presence of enzyme nucleotidase, just for this reactant we are adding ASC as enzyme. Then the nucleoside which we got here, that nucleoside in the presence of enzyme nucleosidase, we are converting them into their simpler form, that is the nitrogen base and sugar. See here, in the digestion of the nucleic acids are the complex molecules. Lastly, the simpler molecules we got are the nitrogen base plus sugar. By all this process of digestion, different complex molecules we have been converted them into their simpler molecules. If you are taking the proteins, here, the proteins which are there, proteins we have been converted their simpler forms as the amino acids. Then fats we have been converted their simpler forms as the fatty acids and glycerols here. Then carbohydrates we have been converted them into the disaccharides, that means maltose, sucrose, lactose, and they're into their simpler forms here. Lastly, the nucleic acids which we have been converted that into their last simpler forms, that is nitrogen base and sugar here, right?